boost gauge. So is it gimmicky or is it good? The answer to both of those questions is yes. Welcome back, my friends. You're watching the Evil X channel. So I saw this gauge on one of the Facebook groups. I was like, whoa, that looks pretty sweet. Looks like a fun little gadget. Is it gimmicky? Would I get sick of it after a while? Maybe, probably, but I wanted to try it out. It was on Amazon for like 115 bucks, and I've actually been using it for the last couple weeks, and I really like it. It's got some really useful things on there. So it will work on any car, any OBD2 car. So that's pretty much anything after 1996. So you can put it on any one of your cars and read what it has to offer as far as the values and the aspects that you can measure and look at, and it's got dozens. You can do your water coolant temperature, oil temperature, boost pressure, battery voltage. There's just tons of stuff. It's got the whole gamut in there. It's pretty cool. I actually like it. So let's go take a look at it. If you like this sort of content, when you get done watching this video, browse through the other videos on my channel and see if any of those interest you as well, and consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps out the small YouTuber. Appreciate you watching, and thanks for being here. Just plugs into the OBD2 there. So I have it Velcroed up, the extra length of cable. You see how you have this additional wire, this thinner wire? So that is for older vehicles if they need to be connected to a on-off 12-volt power source to know when the vehicle is on and off, to know when to shut off. This car, I didn't have to do that. If you did need to do that, you'd run that to a switched 12-volt fuse, like the cigarette lighter or something like that, with add a fuse, or just wrap around that fuse as well. So I kind of have it just ran over here for now, not too fancy. This is what it looks like. It's kind of a slick looking gauge. Just trying to decide where to put it on this car in particular. In the Supra, there's not a lot of places. I found you can stick suction cups down there, so that's good for a phone or other things, because the windshield is really small. I don't want to eat up my space there putting stuff on the windshield when it's already got a small enough visibility for it to begin with. That, and when I put up my you know, sunshade when I'm parking the thing, I don't want stuff on the windshield. So I put it down here. Looks pretty cool. Let's talk about, so the mount, if you can see that back there, that is a ball mount. So it didn't come with that. I actually had to get that separately. So what it does come with is just this flat plate. So this hooks onto the back of the device there, and they give you just some 3M tape to stick on the back of that. I didn't really like that. I didn't want to be sticking anything to my interior. I mean, you could even put it up on the windshield up there, but I wanted a suction cup option. So I looked on Amazon, and for like 11 bucks, I'll link it below, they had one that included several different mounting options. So it comes with one suction cup. So it comes with a suction cup, but it has interchangeable ball mount points. So that would be like for a camera or like a Garmin or other things like that. So I thought that would be a good bet because it had several different available things. The channel on this, as far as how it hooks up, so it looks like that. So it slots into there. It works pretty well. It's not like 100%, I would say, but it works well enough. It hasn't flown off yet. So let's look at this thing. Looking at the back, you got power that just runs to the OBD2 connection. Next to it, there's another connection point. That's for a shift light that's sold separately if you want that. Then it just has 3 buttons. So it has up, down, and select. So we'll go over some of the things on there. I will link the video that the company had referred to in its instructions. The menus seem like it's a lot and kind of confusing at first, but it's really not that bad. So I'll link that video. That has in-depth explanation as far as how to do everything and all the menus and all that good stuff. So I'll just do a brief overview. Let me slot this back on here and then we'll start going over some of that. So is it gimmicky or is it good? The answer to both of those questions is yes. Here she is. Let's take a look at a few things we got on here. Like I said, I was kind of skeptical whether I'd like this or not, but I wanted to try out a new gizmo, and I actually really do like it. So it has all these different displays that you can cycle through. Well, there's a few. So this one's pretty cool. It's got 9 different values, and each one is customizable to what you want on there. So a whole lot of information from one gauge. I think that's kind of a good selling point about it. You can just get so much information without having tons of gauges. Here's what another one looks like. Another one. And you can put different values on each different display. So as you cycle through them, you could have different values for each one depending on what you want to look at. So I thought that was pretty neat. So like this gauge here, I have it set for boost, which is cool. You can also set the manufacturer. I really like that. Nice little touch. Up here in the top right, I have it set to runtime. I really like that. I enjoy being able to see how long I've been in the car since I turned it on. So how long I've been on a trip for that particular drive. Right now I have this one set to oil temperature. Down here, this is freaking sweet. Okay, fuel level. When I found out that was something you could read off of this gauge, I was really excited because that is extremely helpful for calculating E85 percentages. So I love that. That's already been really helpful. Just having that parameter on there for me has made this thing worth it to me. So intake air temperatures, again, on this side I have boost set. So let's look at some of the different values you can put on here. So again, watch the full video from the company going over everything. I'm just going to give you kind of a brief overview. So remember, we have the 3 buttons on the back: up, down, then the center is select. So to back up one, if you're already on a display and you want to get to the settings menu, just hit enter once. So you have all this stuff in here. Time attack, set up warnings, like if you oil temperature or coolant temperatures hit a certain value. Display setup, system setup. All right, display setup. So when it is hovering over an item, it will give a description of it. Item setup, color. So on the different displays, you can change the color. So item setup, that's where all your stuff is. So over here, it's got a checkered pattern on our gauge. I believe that's meaning that is what is selected if we want to change that. Let's see what happens if we hit enter. Okay, so it's flashing, showing the different things. So if I go up, it's a different style boost gauge. So RPM, miles per hour, you get the idea. So hold the enter, it goes back. So if I hit up, it goes to the next value. So see how that's highlighted. And if I was to hit enter, we could change that so it'll flash what that particular value is. So I'm just going to scroll through here so you can see what some of the things are. Now, not everything is going to be applicable to every car. It just depends what your ECU can read and what information it can feed back to this gauge. Fuel level, like we said, range, acceleration. Okay, this is, I believe this is mileage since I've had this hooked up to my car. Yeah, trip odometer, clock, speedometer, tachometer, turbo pressure, boost gauge, oil temperature, that's a really useful one, water temperature, coolant temperature. Voltage for your battery, what gear you're in, fuel rail pressure, intake air temperature, throttle position, O2 sensor, air fuel ratio, barometric pressure, average fuel consumption, average speed. Then when you pick what you want, you can just back out of there. One thing I should mention, let's see if I can find it. I did have to set a setting so it would automatically turn off with the car. All right, I'm in setup menu. Also in here, you can adjust your units of measurement, miles per hour, PSI, Fahrenheit, miles per gallon. You can change those to, you know, kilometers, bars of pressure, Celsius, all that good stuff. You can make adjustments to the speed, whether it's over 100%, whatever you want to do. There's tons of stuff in here. Like, I thought this would be pretty cheesy, but so far I'm really liking it. So you can check ECU data, diagnostic trouble codes, you can clear codes. All right, other setup. This is something I probably should mention. Okay, so power off mode, if you can see up there, I had to change that to get it to turn off when the car turned off. So power off mode, if you can see up there, it says auto. So it came on manual to begin with. When I put it to auto, then it automatically turned off when I turned the car off. But yeah, surprisingly, I think that's pretty sweet. I need to figure out some better cable management. I know that looks kind of ugly right now, but it's been surprisingly useful. I'll put all the links below. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out and checking out the video. If you thought this was helpful, hit the thumbs up button. If you like Toyota Supra content, or if you like WRX content, we got plenty of that on the channel. Browse through the other videos and see if they interest you as well. And consider subscribing. It means a lot to the small YouTuber. Until next time, I'm out.